I'm currently on the phone with AJ. He's another musician that reached out about the current interview sessions going on. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, this is AJ Stone. It's good to be on the phone with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. So, why don't you kind of start at the beginning? Tell me about what it was like when you first kind of encountered music as something that you identified that was going to play a larger role in your life.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting question. So at one point in my youth, I must have been 12 or 13, maybe even a little bit younger than that. I asked my mom to buy me a guitar for Christmas, and she did. But I was kind of a little, I don't know, I was kind of a little monster back then, so I ended up breaking that guitar. And then a couple years later, 17, 18, I asked my grandmother for a guitar, and it basically says, I don't know, last one you broke. Told her I was going to be, a little bit more mature at that age. And she bought me my first guitar, and I fell in love with it. I was playing it all the time. My family's not musicians, so it was definitely a passion for me. But it really didn't take its musical role, like band stuff, until I was in my late 20s, actually.
Okay. Before we go there, tell me a little bit about that period of time when you first got the instrument, or I should say the second time you got the instrument, and you're a little bit more excited about it. How did you go about learning it? Did you kind of just play along with the popular songs that you liked, or did you take private lessons or anything like that?
No, I started off with tabs. So I used to have folders just full of tabs, and whether it be part of a jingle that I like or an actual full song. Um, but because I was just learning tabs, and tabs can be kind of weird to read, it's not often that you get really good tabs. I was learning a lot of songs poorly, so I wasn't really putting together full songs. I was just kind of playing the parts that I enjoyed playing with it.
Okay, so kind of finding specific parts of songs that you were interested in learning and kind of piecing it all together like that.
Yeah, so I might know like the opening riffs to a Metallica song, and not to play the entire song. I don't know the chorus and things like that. It's something I've actually been revisiting in my music journey currently, where I'm like, I know half of all these songs. Why don't I figure
Sure.
out the other half and play them?
Sure. Okay, so you mentioned that at some point that was not a priority anymore, but then eventually it came back. Tell me about what it was like when you decided that you were going to reprioritize music.
Yeah, so for a while, when I was learning off tabs and stuff, I really wasn't playing a lot with other people. So I wasn't, I don't know how to say, chasing that high, if you will. When you start playing with people, it's an entirely different thing. It's a lot of fun. So years ago, I joined a band, Sick of Sarah, and that really sparked my renewed interest, I guess, if you want to call it that, back into music. That went away for a while, and it was actually my roommate Lazarus. I know that you have had interviews with him. I would play a song or so in some of his shows, and for lack of a better way to put it, I was really jealous. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be in front of the camera. So 2 years ago, I decided I'm absolutely doing my own music, booking shows, going on stage, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Awesome. So I gather from there, has it just been the 2 years that you've been doing the live thing, or were you kind of was there a brush up period there where you got back into the instrument and then, got your chops good before you felt comfortable getting on stage?
No, I always had a guitar. I always had a guitar around. I'd always, noodle on the guitar, but there wasn't like focus in it. And then finally, when did some things with these other bands, which I had to have focus because I had to play the song correctly. But I fell back in love, and I decided that I didn't want it to be just a hobby. Maybe I'm not going to get rich off of it, but, I wanted to give a little bit more of myself to it and learn my songs better and be more focused. And, I did take lessons at one point. I'm rehashing some of my lessons that I remember to get better.
Sure. So tell me a bit about that developmental period. You identified that you wanted to get back into it. You saw the avenue for you to get back into it. At that point, I imagine it was just writing the material, getting it ready so you could get, your presentation on stage.
Yeah, pretty much. So the songs that I'm actually currently playing, these are songs that I've had for years. I mean, I find some files and they're from 2011, so they're older songs. So I kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, kind of hodgepodged it. I kind of made a set with the songs that I have rather than writing new material for it. Got a couple of my buddies to stand in on a couple of shows with me, and I really didn't know how far it was going to go. Actually, the real big turnover there is I have a bass player that's permanently in my band. His name is Ryan. He's fantastic, and because of his interest, it helps renew my interest. So, now I'm putting on that professional hat that I want to be good hat and really working on the music.
Sure. So you kind of touched base there a bit about what my next question was going to be. While you were kind of putting this idea together, you already kind of mentioned that there was other people involved. Like you envisioned the full contemporary band lineup sort of thing. Okay. So tell me about that process of finding those musicians to get them involved in your project and also get them up to speed with the songs that you had put together.
Sure. So the first night out, the drummer that I currently have, I was in another band with, so it was pretty easy to get him to want to play with me. The other musicians, I actually live with two of them, Jack Swagger and Lazarus. So again, it wasn't that hard to get a favor out of them. And then on bass, I had Josh Ripley, who's a close friend to all of us. So luckily right now, my social environment, I mean, it has been very much growing with musicians over the years. So, putting together a few nights of a band wasn't super difficult, but it wasn't going to be a sustainable thing. Everybody was very clear that they have their own projects going on. So, yeah, I was just kind of in the right place, right time.
Okay. So that name also rung a bell to me. And so I did a quick search in my files and I have interviewed him as well. So after your interview, I'll have interviewed everybody in your house.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that this community is doing what it's doing.
Yeah,
That is
it's
probably
great.
that's probably been the biggest backing is I'm not here alone. I was never here alone. Even in my solo shows, I'm not here alone. And everybody wants the same thing. We're going for the same goal, and it's been very, very lucrative.
Yeah, so that kind of brings us up to where you're at now and what you're working on. And you didn't really mention it, but I know you have some involvement in the North Star Original Review. So while you're talking about your own project, mention that a little bit as well.
Oh, very happy to. So, yeah, my band, we're going through a name change right now. We're currently playing out as AJ Stone. That is kind of obvious why that happened with everything I just told you. But now that I have Ryan on in my band, and we want to be a band, we want to have band merch, not AJ Stone merch and things like that. So yeah, that's been kind of where my music has been going. We're playing out usually once a month. There's been a couple busier months. We got a show coming up at Midway on the 22nd. So doing a lot with that. But yeah, the real, I was talking about community, and the real answer is that North Star Original Review. I am talking to so many bands every week. We get 7 bands to play a showcase. We do that showcase every other week at Midway Saloon. We've had other opportunities as far as shows at Ziggy's and Clash Drums and Red Carpet and Day Block. We got a couple of events at. It has been absolutely fantastic. I know I know so many musician friends now. I always make the joke that it has its downsides because every time I have a show, they don't come because all my friends have shows because they're all musicians.
Right, right.
A good problem to have. But yeah, that's been the real kicker. It's helped me develop a ton of skills. My booking has gotten a lot better. Reaching out to venues is much more comfortable. Meeting new people is much more comfortable. It's kind of right into the fire.
Yeah, and that environment, the NOR environment, it's a really good environment for people that A, are just getting started, or B, don't have a significant amount of stage presence. It's a good testing ground to kind of get out there and figure out what you're doing. I know when I did my show there back in April, I was kind of at that same point. It had only been a couple months when I started doing my live show, and that was a great test bed to kind of, get that extra, stage presence.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of we excuse me. Um, we kind of don't know what to really call it because it's a little bit different than like a show. You're playing for 20 minutes or so, 4 songs. It's a little bit more than an open mic. We don't really want you to go up there and half-ass it. I mean, that's really up to the artist, but we really want this to be an opportunity for an artist to grow. The director of the NOR original review, he kind of puts it forward as it's more of an artist development program than it is like a booking agency, because we do want to see artists meet other artists and form other bands and projects and learn skills if they want to do that.
Yeah, it's a great environment to collaborate like that. I completely see the vision, and I think it's great. I will support it however I can, but I don't. I will send people to that and recommend it. Is pretty much the extent of how I can help support it.
Well, it sounds like you've already done an interview with most of the people that help run it, so that's great.
Yeah. Coincidentally though, I don't. I mean, it was a couple years ago when I interviewed Jack. I don't remember him mentioning it. I believe Lazarus mentioned it though. But either way, it's a good project you guys are working on, and I fully support it. Not that you need my support, but
we need all of the support.
All right, so share with me a couple of memories that you have of important things that have happened to you surrounding music that help keep you motivated to continue to participate in music.
So I think it's always important to weigh the good and the bad. I have a couple of videos, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but at the same time, I'm going to stand by it. I have a couple of videos of me playing at the artist quarters back in probably 2010. And I was horrendous. I was very, very bad. I didn't have stage comfort. And I'm still working on my vocals now, but I certainly was not a singer. But I use that as kind of a memory of where I've been. And then with Sick of Sarah was a national touring band. It's amazing that I was ever a part of that band. So there's photos where I'm playing in front of a few thousand people, and that's something that I absolutely never dreamt was ever going to happen. So I can kind of put these two markers side by side and say, hey, this is where you started, and this is something that you can achieve. So I haven't played in front of crowds like that since, but I also realize that it's not impossible. So it really brings me a lot of momentum seeing, the opportunities and the times that it didn't work out according to plan.
Yeah, that's great to, kind of view it from both ends of that spectrum and realize, you can do that. All right. Well, where can people find you and follow your music, and then also check out like NOR?
Yep. So, I mean, basically anywhere. I'm just starting to dabble more in TikTok. That's kind of an old man yelling at computer situation right now, but you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. It's currently under AJ Stone. If we do a band change, a name change, we will make as many announcements of it. But AJ Stone Music is where you can find what I currently have out.
Perfect. So I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So what's a message that you have that you want other people to hear?
I actually heard this quote from Lil Wayne on a vitamin water commercial. And as funny as that might sound, I think it's really important. Don't try to be unique. Be yourself, which is unique.